Hi, I'm back to you with session number 2 in this personal growth strategies. And this is the balancing act about the balance between career and the rest of your world, right? So, at today's pace in life, with so many responsibilities, options, uh, in- inquiries, things that are coming, information that's just flying at us. For a lot of people, balance seems like it's impossible. It's continued input. I just, going into the computer, the internet, there's just so much out there, right? We can get just pulled in. So how do we get our hands on it? 5 minutes, I'll give you some thoughts and ideas. Spend next 5 minutes with me. So let me start with the framework, the components of balance. In my world, the components of balance, okay, are one, career, how much time you invest in yourself professionally. Number two is family. And family includes your close friends, in-laws, outlaws, and close friends. Three is self. And that component's a little hard. Self is how much time do you invest in yourself? Maybe it's in healthy eating or exercise. Maybe it's your religious or spiritual beliefs. Maybe it's stress reduction, golfing, fishing, whatever it is you do, yoga, meditation, those kind of things, things where you invest in yourself personally. Okay. Well, if you take those three components, we're going to try and figure out how to best balance that. And balance doesn't mean equal amounts of time in all three. Everybody has a different balance want that they have. So let's start with first, where are you at today? How you determine that is you take an average week and you total up the hours in each one of those components that you have spent. Okay. And then there's another category that we don't include in this equation, and it's called maintenance hours because we need to have, X amount of sleep every day. We need to spend time eating. We need to spend time bathing. We need to spend time on those kind of things. So that's not included in this formula. Now, if your maintenance hours are like 50% of your week, yeah, maybe there's ways you can be more efficient in trimming that down and not giving up sleep because you got so much to do. We do need sleep in order to stay healthy, which is a big part of balance. The more we can stay healthy, the more we can make the other things happen. So that's the first thing. Once you figure out where you're at, then you want to figure out where would you best like to be and be realistic about it. At my best, the formula that I had done was 44% career and 28% uh, uh, family and 28% self. And that was after my kids were grown and they didn't need me quite as much. Everybody's in a different place in life, right? So everybody's balance will be different. So once I determine that, then you look at the gaps between where you are and where you want to be. And so which components do you need to grow? Which parts? Because, most people are out just because of circumstances, right? And circumstances will change that, right? When you get to the point where you think, gosh, I got this imbalance, you get sick, or you have a child, or you get a promotion, or, you know, you got to take care of a loved one. So all things are come, but how do you move back to balance? Moving towards balance. That's what I like to say. So too often, balance means to people that they want to have everything they already have today, but with less stress, less tension, less pain, less guilt. Problem is everything you've had today. How many times is your schedule full and you say yes to something at work? Only maybe you don't say it out loud, but to say no to something back at home. I did that several times, and family is one of the most important values to me, right? Maybe I didn't make my daughter's track meet or my son's recital. It was easier to do that than to say no to a boss. That was not within my integrity, right? Family's a high value for me. Balance is not something, though, that can just be purchased like a piece of furniture. It's about seeing the circumstances in your life. I mean, really seeing the circumstances in your life as they are and clarifying what's important to you and then moving from perspective to choice. That's the balance formula. Having clear, set values that we live by, and understanding, fully embracing the concept of choice. So if you haven't done a values exercise, great thing to do. You can find some prompts someplace, or you can just sit down and start writing down things. And you want to have somewhere between 5 to 7 values that are key for you, right? I already said family. Another one was integrity. Those are the kind of things that showed up in my 5 to 7 values. Once you have that, right, that gives you guideposts. Now, my goals then were to track, but that's a whole nother topic. My goals came out of those values. But the values, I could look at myself in the mirror and say, yeah, you lived by your values today, or you didn't, and need to change something tomorrow in how you choose to go about your day. Concept of a choice was probably the neatest thing I learned along my journey. The idea is that the time between something happening and us making a decision, we have time to think about it. We can access that part of our brain and really make a clear thought. And we have that choice. So think about this. As adults in the United States of America, land of the free, what do we not have a choice over? A lot less things than we believe we do, right? Okay, the weather, we don't have a choice about that. When we pass, right, we don't necessarily have a choice about. Now we can do healthy things to help, postpone them, but we usually don't have a choice when that time comes, right? How other people treat us, it's another one. But there's many other things we do, but things like taxes. I don't have to pay my taxes. But you know what? It's not worth the consequences of not paying my taxes, right? So I pay my taxes. So there's a choice. And when I understand I'm choosing to pay my taxes, okay, it's a great feeling. It's more control. We have more control of where we're at, right? So keep that in mind. Consequences with choices. If I choose to say yes to that boss, then the consequences are I'm missing out on something in the important part of my life that I didn't want to miss out on. Okay? So keep in mind, you are much more than what you do. What you do may be vitally important to the world, but you're much more than that. There's so much more to us as human beings. And I say that because most people's balance is out because they have spent so much work in their professional lives. Not necessarily a bad thing if that's what is most important to you. But if you're sacrificing other parts in your life, you need to think about how to make different choices. Okay? So what are the benefits of balance? One, being present wherever you're at. You're 100% there because you're not supposed to be anywhere else. There's less guilt. Those voices turn off. Oh, I should have been doing this. I should have been doing that. No, you're doing what you need to be doing. Quality of life is better. We're healthier. We're happier. There's less stress in our lives. And the other thing is we're more productive. I can show you examples of where people have 20% less time put in to their profession and 30% more productive. Keep that in mind. I'm going to leave you with a quick story. So there's this really rich industrialist from the north down in the beaches of Florida and runs across the guy laying in his hammock. And he says, hey, do you know where the owner of this boat is? And he goes, yeah, that's me. He goes, well, it's the middle of the day. What are you taking a nap for? He goes, well, I was out fishing this morning. He goes, well, why aren't you out fishing longer? He goes, why would I want to do that? He goes, well, if you fish longer, you could get more fish, you could make more money. If you make more money, you could get more boats. If you get more boats, you could get a group of people to work for you. And then you could be rich like me. And he goes, and what would that bring me? He goes, well, then you could take a vacation whenever you want. He goes, what do you think I'm doing?